Hi, my name is Ikaika Pelotu, and this is my part 3 to my senior project. So right here we're looking at the home view. This is all here before I started working on my project, but now I've added a login button in the top right. And this is the current state of the website running on my local host. So if we go ahead and click on the login, we now have the login view with a form for the user's name and password. And go ahead and put in a username and password. So we have this function that changes it from a password to a string. And so if any of the form is empty, it will have this red marker and say that it needs to be filled. It will also not submit until there are values in here. And then if the password is wrong and you try logging in, a toast will pop up here. This toast is actually from the package ng toaster, which has been a real help, and I think it looks really nice. And then if the username is incorrect, another toast will pop up saying that the user is not found. You can go ahead and add that. I have not worked on the get password or connect with different auth, but that will be worked on in the future. So once the user logs in, we get another toast saying login successful, and we're now on the dashboard. We're routed to the dashboard. So here on the dashboard, the first thing we have is the username, and this is being pulled from the token which is created when you authenticate, but I'll talk about that a little later. We have a change password, which opens another form with an overlay over it, where we send the old password, the new password twice. I had to create a new route for this under users. It's called user password. And what we are doing is we're sending in the URL the user's ID, and then the new password and the old password. And what will happen is the new password will be checked, or the old password will be hashed and checked against the password stored in the database. And then once it's correct, the new password will be hashed and stored in the database. That's that new route setup. As I mentioned before, when the user logs in, a access token is created, and it's also stored in local storage. At the same time, a refresh token is also created, and these are both being handled by the backend. So here in the controller, the user controller in C#, we have the in the authentication route. So when the user submits that login form, if it's valid, so if the user exists and if the password is correct, then it will return back an OK status and the access token and refresh token. And then the front end will take that and store it in the local storage. Here, those two tokens are created right here through create JWT and create refresh token, and we can see them at the bottom here, right here. The create JWT token uses the user's role and their username, and so that when I mentioned before how the username is populated right here, that's being taken from this this access token. And once it's taken from the access token, it's actually stored in the front end too, just to make it generate as fast as possible. Now this refresh token is set to be refreshed every 10 seconds. So if we actually click refresh, yeah, we see the refresh token has changed, and this is to prevent any attackers from editing or updating these tokens. If 10 seconds go by and it's been changed, will log out the user immediately. That's pretty much it. The last thing is that these views are guarded. We're using a guard to block regular users from accessing it. So if we log out, it's shown it's successful, and if we open, we see that our local storage is empty now. So the access and refresh token are gone. If we try navigating back to the dashboard, I will say not authorized, please log in first. And so we won't be able to access any of those views. And we can actually look at the routes. Here we are using guards to block these specific routes, and that's this guard right here. And we're just checking if the user's logged in. And if not, we're redirecting them back to the login page, and we fire off that toast saying you have to log in first. That is about it for my project this week. I'm 10 weeks into it. I have about 3 more weeks to go. I have gotten more things done that I'll talk about in the next videos, but I've learned so much from this project, and it really gets me excited learning about these new tools that make development so much more easier. Learning about things like ng Toaster, and learning how these guards block users from accessing certain sites, and how refresh tokens add that another layer of security to your website. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.